Rescue Op. Save the dinosaurs from an island that's about to explode. What could go wrong?
Welcome to Fallen Kingdom, where we return to Jurassic World 1 minute at a time. I'm Brad.
I'm Dave.
And here we are back to discuss minute 57 of Fallen Kingdom. Before we get to that, David, heading back over to Jurassic-Pedia.com, we've talked many a time on the news episodes each month, just how horrible social media is and what it's been doing to fandoms. Luckily, or thankfully, Collect Jurassic has decided to have another go on Facebook and started his page, group, site, whatever you want to call it, back up there. Pedia's sort of going back the other way, and we've talked about the message boards before, but we've got a link here to the article by Tyrannosaur TJ. Just a bit of backstory, heading back to the forums on Pedia, just the tight-knit Jurassic community, looked after by Jurassic fans, looked after by Pedia. We don't have Meta deciding that this picture of the Tyrannosaur doesn't meet our community standards and lock your group or lock your page. Just, back amongst fans, discussing the franchise amongst fans.
Yeah. This was an article that I had actually kind of just ended up rewriting for Terry, and you can kind of see there's a couple spelling errors I keep finding in here that I keep having to go back and edit. And so it kind of got amalgamized, I guess.
I love how I've noticed recently my iPad or my iPhone, when I'm editing docs or something or writing in Google Docs, unless you're connected to the internet, it will not auto correct or anything. It just leaves it. I'm sure.
Well, this I had copy and pasted from a Word doc. I don't know what happened. But anyway, yeah. The way we see it is social media is kind of at an odd crossroads right now. It's kind of at this point where Facebook isn't the powerhouse it used to be because of so many teens now flocking to TikTok. Twitter is being uglified by Musk, whatever the hell he's doing there. I don't know what is on his mind, because now he's thinking about paywalling the entire site, and I think he severely underestimates the number of people who are willing to pay for social media. I mean, social media is horrible by itself. Nobody wants to pay to be trolled. Then, I mean, like, there's not really a lot of social media websites that are kind of well regulated anymore. I guess that's the best word. For example, when our page went down on Facebook the first time, we could never get it back. It was all automated when Facebook, and this is actually what drove us to start upping the forum advertisement more, was because for some reason, there's no reason given. We have no idea why. And we talked about this before, I think, on the show. When Meta decided to take down Jurassic World or Jurassic Park Jurassic Pedia's Instagram and Threads account. It was inexplicable. I mean, I just woke up one morning to the bad news that, we decided to just delete your page out of random. We don't have an explanation why we did this, but we did. And there's seems to be between the troubles that Collect Jurassic has had, and I know there's other accounts out there that have had similar issues as well with Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all those social media sites, that they aren't a certainty. They don't have the guarantee that you're gonna just wake up one day and it's gonna be there, because you don't own the content. You're just playing in somebody else's sandbox. With the forum, we have this guarantee that for as long as we're here, we can have this forum. Yes, we can take it away as if it doesn't end up being that big of a thing, But we're trying to hope that that there's other fans out there who are just sick of the whole social media thing and the uncertainty of whether your account's even going to be there because Facebook auto moderation decided to tag an old selfie from 2017 that says, "Oh, you showed a nipple. Oh, we're gonna take this down and delete your entire account." And then it actually turns out to be a guy, his nipples.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know anybody that's happened to, but knowing Facebook's idiotic algorithms, that's liable to happen. I've always considered forums to be a superior form of communication. They're not as real time. I will say that is probably one of the biggest detractors of the forum is that you can't really, it's not as instantaneous for conversation, which is why we've kept our Discord up. And we have our Discord link up on JurassicPedia.com.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to join that, you're free and welcome to. We invite anybody to participate. We're always on there participating. And we just think that, like, for serious discussion of topics, any kind of topics, hats, rubber Halloween masks, or Jurassic Park, anything like that, I think forums are superior because it's just easier to navigate as a tool. It's easier to post photos in the middle of your conversation. It's easier not to be interrupted in the middle of making a post. It's just, I think, superior for actual conversation and not just like chatting.
Yeah, just the whole concept of social media has changed so much. Like, the only reason we've got the Twitter account is it's all about promotion, self-promotion, promoting a product. Most YouTubers would have social media to advertise, to try and get more views, to get more people to their channels. Same with Facebook, having Facebook groups, advertising, trying to get people to listen, look, view, whether you're an artist, whether you're a songwriter, whether you're a content creator on YouTube, even though that word sucks. All these different things. We're back in the day, and even now some people still do it. Well, here's some photos to share with friends and family. I just had my hair shaved off for charity, and just that sort of stuff, which is what Facebook sort of did, and that's what a lot of old people, I suppose, get made fun of for still using Facebook for. But all the trendy ones that they're setting they're sharing their products and advertising and that, and the same thing. Like Pedia posts to the Pedia Facebook group. Not only is it to share content behind the scenes, articles or whatever else, but it is also to get traffic to the site. So it's just changed so much over the years. And social media now is nearly just becoming just this big advertisement glob that is just trying to get your eyes. Everyone's trying to get your attention. And then you just have the trolls come in and, yeah, pretty much destroyed whatever good parts are still there if Facebook can't do it themselves. So, I don't know where I wanted to go with that.
I will say that Pedia is not doing that either. We are using our social media presence right now. We do still post like major updates and stuff like that we think everybody should know about, but we're basically using it as advertisement for our other projects.
So yeah, if you are a fan of the franchise, and obviously you are if you listen to this, maybe just step off the socials for a little bit. The links there. Jump over to Jurassic-Pedia.com and sign up in the message boards. Sign up on Discord if you haven't done it already, and just take the conversation away from the socials. Get in there with your fellow fans, informative fans. You're not going to have people asking what killed the people at the start of Jurassic Park 3. It's done to death, people.
That conversation comes up all the time.
Yeah. The circle of memes that keep coming up. If I see that goddamn T-Rex being patted down saying it's too tired from Jurassic Park behind the scenes again, I'll scream. So, so yeah, jump over, give the message boards a try, and yeah, I think you'll enjoy it.
Oh, look what they've done to her.
Who are these assholes?
Animal traffickers. Look how they're treating them. They're not going to take them to a sanctuary. They're going to sell them.
Not Blue. They need her for something else. Like what? I don't know, but she's hemorrhaging and I don't have instruments and I want to keep her alive.
Hey. Shh. You're all right. You're all right.
Claire, come here. Come on. Put your hand here. Steady pressure.
Hey.
Dave, ready to get into minute 57 of Fallen Kingdom?
Sure.
Alright, minute 57, Fallen Kingdom opens in the dark hold of the Arcadia and ends with Claire applying pressure to Blue. Here we are back in the Arcadia as it continues its journey from Nublar to Northern California. We can see a guard with a flashlight walking past one of the parked Unimogs checking animal cages. Everyone must be up on deck, must be chow time or something, because there's just one guard in here checking the animals. But I suppose they're on the ship, they're sailing, they're feeling pretty safe and secure at the moment, which was Roland's mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this, that I know that the Arcadia was based partly on the landing platform dock used by the Navy. And one thing that my dad made mention of that when he was on his ship was there's that unlike like a destroyer, the LPD has a flat bottom, which kind of reduced the amount of roll that the ship experienced. So having this large cargo hold here, like an LPD, may mean that the ship has a flat bottom, reducing that amount of roll that the ship experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, when you have a cargo ship, something you honestly kind of want. You don't want all your cargo flipping off the side of the ship.
Well, not just that, even the sailors or crew on board not having crew immobilised because they're seasick when they've got to get out and fight or deploy. So, which just makes the storm even weirder. If we're gonna attack this ship with a big storm to make it roll around a bit to facilitate the hijinks with the Tyrannosaur in a minute, but it's not really what the vehicle's capable of the ship would do. But I suppose you throw a big enough wave, big enough seas at it, it probably will rock a little bit. I'll have to do it for next minute. Google what the crew complement of a ship like this would be. Because I'm just wondering, we know Wheatley's team isn't that large. I don't see 5 to 6 of the mercenaries all sharing bunk beds as sailors would. They'd probably have rooms to themselves. In another room, Z is standing by Blue on a table. Nope. Owen, Claire and Franklin move out of the shadows and away from their hiding spot here. Makes me wonder how long they've been standing behind this Unimog, if they've just moved to this spot waiting for the guard to leave the hold, or because this Unimog's in a different spot to the one they come in earlier, and we know Claire was in the front of it if she jumped in the back and had hidden there. I don't know how many other hiding spots you'd have down there anyway, but in another room, Zia is standing by Blue on a table. As the ship rocks, she tries to hold Blue down and reassure her that she's okay. So we are getting the ship moving a little bit here. Owen appears through the tarp door, which seems like it's the canvas of the back of a vehicle, but he sort of just walks straight in, which suggests more that this is some sort of tent set up on the hold or the cargo floor, and not a vehicle itself, because they all sort of just walk into this tent. They don't climb up into the back. If this was the back of a Unimog, you'd have to climb up into it. But then, again, not quite sure why they'd be setting field tents up in the ship. It's sort of a bit hard to peg your tent down when you've got a steel floor. Zia is excited to see them alive, but Owen quickly puts his finger over his lips to quiet her. He goes to Blue's side and pats her head, and Zia asks, "Who are these assholes?" Owen replied, "Animal traffickers. Look how they are treating them. They aren't taking them to a sanctuary. They're going to sell them." That's a little bit different in a novel. We'll get there in a minute, but I wonder how much experience Owen has in the field and with animal trafficking. We know he was working with the Navy. I know the Navy does operations off the coast of Africa and that as training. So I wonder if part of his years in the Navy was involved with animal traffickers at all.
He would be. I think, according to lore, he was in charge of training dolphins to plant landmines on enemy ships.
I'm just trying to think of the Malta stuff from Dominion too. I'm pretty sure they just stroll through the black market. We're not really giving out much info about knowing any or having seen or met any of them before or anything like that. Yeah. I'm sure there's backstory there that probably would have been put in a novel if it was Star Wars or a comic. They theorise Blue's needed for something else, and they need her alive. But honestly, she's valuable. If she's the last Velociraptor, then they will want to keep her alive.
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird that they shot. Well, that was an accident anyway. But it's weird that Z is here by herself, and there aren't more people trying to help Blue out this time. She's just been left by herself. Especially if Mills telling Wheatley over the phone how valuable Blue is.
Mm-hmm. Well, not just as a specimen of her species, but because of the special genetics that have gone into her creation and the time spent that with the Ibris Project for her being taught how to cooperate and work with a team. It's something that sorry, I'm trying to think. It's something that it's the end of my work week.
You're right.
It's something that Wu brought up with Mills when they were arguing that the Indoraptor needs a mother. It's something that the prototype is savage. It's unresponsive to commands. I mean, it follows the basic kind of point and shoot command, but it's unpredictable. It needs something that will allow it to bond to a human handler in the same way Blue has bonded to Owen, where he approaches her, he's not going to be instantly shredded, kind of thing, you know?
Well, it's a common, it's a recurring thing. They made the same problem, or done the same thing with the Indominus.
Mm-hmm.
Just you're raising these animals in isolation, and they are not, not sophisticated. They're not mentally there as animals. They're seeing all this for the first time, as Owen said in Jurassic World, and just not having that nurture.
It's not just that. It's is that Wu seems to be visibly learning from his mistakes here. He doesn't say, "Oh well, I guess it's savage." It's like, "Oh, so that's what went wrong with the Indominus." When he does it again, and he's learning from his mistakes this time, you know?
It also takes me back to the end of Jurassic World when they're clearing the lab out and we see the kids looking at all his creations, all his mutants he's made. And they're all just sitting there, obviously because they've got prosthetics on, but they're all just sitting there sort of calm. There's not like a horror movie or something where you'd see the animals attacking the glass or trying to break out, or just feral, complete feral, because they're technically they're in isolation as well. But and then he just makes locusts in the next movie that don't eat humans or are no threat apart from eating all the crops. They should have turned on people, those locusts.
Well, they did. I mean, it seemed that with any kind of disturbance, they just suddenly bit. And we didn't see them actively attacking anybody, but the implication that they could was definitely there.
But then,
like when they're swarming Alan and Ellie, they seemed you can't see them actively biting them. It seemed that they were afraid that could be a possibility, and they didn't want it to happen.
Well, not to tangent too far, but I don't know what the attacking behaviour of a locust would be. Granted, these are got DNA from the Cretaceous or what have you in them. Surely, even just their sheer size and mass of them just flying around panicked in a room or swarming is going to do damage if that hits you in the back of the head or starts getting you in vulnerable spots anyway. But
And I mean, locusts are essentially just like giant grasshoppers. If anybody's seen one, they have those barbs on all of their legs, and that's gonna hurt.
they've got a good set of chompers on the front of them too. Like they eat stalks
Well, I
of
mean,
grain.
like I said, the concern of being bit was always there, and it didn't. It looked like if they were kind of the size that if they bit you, it might take your finger. And if that's something you really want.
Well, then you got to have human blood, and that's going to affect the rating, which is why it didn't happen. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Locust podcast will continue later. We find out that Blue is also hemorrhaging, and Zia doesn't have the right instruments to keep her alive. Which obviously the Mercs going to the island, they would have had a basic first aid kit for humans, but no. Well, a ship like this would surely have to have a medical centre, even a fairly crude one.
Yeah.
But then I suppose if hemorrhaging, we're going to do surgery, so you'd have scalpels and that, but
yeah,
I don't know.
And I'm sure it's probably also difficult to move a 400-pound animal to that trauma area. You could, in theory, bring some of the materials with you, but I'm not sure if they could bring all of the materials they would need to do the surgery. I mean, we do see that Zia has requested some materials from, like, she's got tweezers and stuff like that. It looks like she had stuff to sew up the wound and all that kind of stuff. Painkillers probably, because Blue seemed pretty out of it. Like, an animal, even if they're losing blood, they're going to be pretty panicky. And Blue just wasn't.
Well, when she was shot, it knocked her out. She passed out from the shock.
Yeah. But eventually, I mean, the shock would have worn out by now. She would have just been awake and panicking. So I'm sure she's been sedated at this point.
Yeah, well, we know that's one thing they've definitely got access to, and that's tranquilizers, darts, and whatever else. If she's managed to get the right dosage in that to knock Blue out. So.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. That unlike Wheatley's men, Zia probably knows the right dosage to weight ratio that would calm Blue down, but not like kill her.
Yeah, but I just don't know if it's because the Mercs are that thing nearly killed one of our guys. We're not helping her or whatever, but with how valuable they're saying this animal is, and she's just here. They've gone up and got her some aspirin and thrown for her to temp water. Said, here, deal with this, and some tweezers and that. Like, you'd think there'd be some guys here saying, right, what do we need to do? What do you need us to do? What do you need?
Well, you would think that they would have somebody standing guard on her. She is a prisoner, sort of.
Well, if this animal wasn't shot, she'd be left on the island with the others, and I'd also be very concerned that she might be getting thrown overboard before they get back to California as well, especially if Blue dies, which I don't think is really addressed in the film at all. But yeah, no. The whole reason they left Owen and that on the island was so that Volcano would leave no witnesses, so to speak. But Blue tries to get up again, but Owen holds her head down, rubbing her neck. And as it ends, tells Claire to hold pressure over the bullet wound. Claire pushes down and a little hard, and we get a pain response from Blue. And I suppose I should mention too, this is full animatronic Blue here, laying on this table. So the actors are interacting. Owen can pat her neck, console her, or comfort her, and we got, I think it's next minute, we get a bit too much pressure again, and like Franklin gets a mouthful of blue goo or blood.
It's Franklin gets squirted. She's a squirter.
We'll discuss that next minute. In the novel, basically, Z asks, "Who are these guys?" Not assholes, which fair enough. Blue replies, "Animal." Blue replies, "Owen replies, animal traffickers. I've seen cages like these before. It's all left over from the ivory trade. They're going to sell the dinosaurs."
Mm-hmm.
So again, they're linking him to seeing the aftermath of the ivory trade. It makes sense that a lot of these big cages might be stuff they've picked up from elephant traffickers or something like that. Just because the scale of the cages needed for the roundup itself, and two, having the stegosaurs or the baby trikes and that sort of stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we mentioned it during the Lost World Minute, but just the lead time that InGen would have needed, Lolo would have needed to modify all those vehicles, all the cages, all that sort of stuff for Operation Harvest. Same thing here. They've had to have
spend
some
money
time.
to make money.
They've had to spend some time to get all this stuff ready. It's a shame, and we do see, especially when we get back to the dock, like we've got all brand new trucks, brand new Unimogs. Most of the stuff looks brand new, but surely they've also put a call out for second-hand cages and that sort of thing, and West Africa's probably the cheapest spot to get them from. But that is it for minute 57. Dave, how about we get out of here for the week?
All right, sounds good.